and welcome to several reasons why you are breaking down and why stressing about it is a mistake. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Jackaroo channel. My name is Dave, and in this episode we're going to be discussing a fantastic thing: why the 4JX1 breaks down so often. It seems to break down and people are stumped by the issues, but it is mainly ignorance of the engine that is the reason people seem to struggle and they get so annoyed. This is why this groundbreaking engine gets a bad reputation that it doesn't really deserve, and why it is bagged by so many people. The big issue with the 4JX1, and the main reason it gets such a bad name, is a lack of mechanical knowledge. Many people know about engines, but many are not even aware what a HUEY engine is. Yes, the 4JX1 engine is a HUEY engine, and they are quite rare, but can be very reliable if you know what areas to look after and what causes them to break down. Most mechanics will not even know what a HUEY engine is, and I would always ask a mechanic if they can explain what a HUEY engine is before letting them near my car. A mechanic who does not know about HUEY can cause more issues than they can fix, and this happens far more often than you would imagine. So watch this and you'll be able to tell a mechanic what type of engine you have and how to fix it, or even armed with that knowledge, work on it and fix it yourself. This video will explain what a HUEY engine is, how it differs from other diesels, and more importantly, identify the parts of the engine where you need to focus your attention the most, what might go wrong and what you can do to prevent the problems before they become an issue. HUEY, HEUI, stands for Hydraulic and Electronically Controlled Unit Injector, and that likely means absolutely nothing to most people. However, in a nutshell, it means that the diesel injectors are fired by oil pressure and not diesel pressure. Still confused? I'm not really that surprised, so let's break it down and attempt to try and simplify it a little. We've all heard of common rail when we discuss diesels, and the 4JX1 is a common rail diesel. But where the 4JX1 differs is right there, in the common rail. Most diesels use a common rail, which just means that the pressurized diesel is effectively stored in a high pressure cylinder where all the injectors can access the high pressure fuel as required. But to explain the differences, we need to look back in time. Older diesels prior to common rail and HUEY used a mechanical injection pump that pushed high pressure diesel to each injector, which relied heavily on the injection pump getting it right every time. Mechanical pumps were generally reliable, but they were quite complicated devices, and also had to have a mechanical governor built in to stop the engine over revving. Electronic injection pumps started to appear on the market, and while these made injection more efficient and perhaps smaller, they were still very expensive to build and replace if they went wrong. Modern common rail diesels still need to create a lot of high pressure diesel at the atomization pressure, so the pumps are still complicated and expensive. HUEY doesn't do that. It creates high pressure oil, but nowhere near the atomization pressure of the diesel, as that pressure is built up in the injector during the injection phase. Also, common rail diesels still require a pipe to each injector, whereas the HUEY does not. It only requires one high pressure oil pipe. HUEY has been around for a long time, but it was Caterpillar and the International Truck and Engine Corporation that changed the system so the injectors could be pressurized independently. They didn't invent the unit injector. That claim went to Englishman Fred Lamplough in 1911, but they certainly made the engine popular for you and me. They fitted the HUEY engine into the Navistar's V8, the Ford Power Stroke 7.3 and 6 litre between 1993 and 2007. International used HUEY for several of their engines, the DT, 466E, DT570, T444E, the DT466570, MaxForce 57910, MaxForce DT and VT365. Caterpillar used HUEY in their 3116, 3126, 3406E, C7 Assert, C9 Assert engines, and Isuzu fitted the HUEY to the 4JX1. In a nutshell, the Caterpillar International HUEY engine used a common rail oil system to operate the injectors individually. This took away the need for an expensive injection pump and replaced it with a HPOP, a high pressure oil pump, which was a much simpler design. The injectors are fired using oil pressure, and the diesel injection pressure is created within the injector and is electronically controlled by the ECU. There are some issues, and as we have discussed above, the engine works differently from other diesels, and most mechanics have never touched a HUEY engine, especially outside of the USA. The ones that have tend to keep away from them because they know how hard they can be to diagnose and fix when they are unfamiliar. Many owners say they can't find a mechanic who is willing to work on them, which is why this channel exists, so we can help people. There are a number of essential tools that you should obtain to assist you with this engine. Here's a short but not exhaustive list. You will need a 27mm open-ended spanner to remove the high pressure oil pipe. That can be ring spanner on one end and open-ended on the other, as long as there's an open end. Number 2 is a Tech 2 tool. The Isuzu engine does not use the same protocol on its electronic interface as most modern cars. OBD2 does not function, and you require a Tech 2 tool that will interface with GM/Isuzu. The injector sleeve removal tool. That tool allows you to take the injector sleeves out and is available from the Facebook group, the 4JX1 Decompile group run by Chris. Message Chris and see if he can help you. The RPCV removal tool is another tool that is required to remove the RPCV from the back of the high pressure oil pump. That is another tool that you can also get from the Facebook group, the 4JX1 Decompile Compile. Again, ask Chris if he can help you out with that. It is the lack of knowledge that gets this engine a bad reputation, but if you are aware of what can go wrong, then you will be armed and ready to address the problems. Let's look at what is essential to keep the engine running correctly. Oil. The correct engine oil is totally critical to the operation of the injectors. The old adage that older engines need thicker oil just will not work on a HUEY engine. The viscosity of the oil is essential for smooth operation of the injectors. Oil again. Regular and on-time oil changes go a long way to preventing issues. I change my oil every 5,000 kilometers and change the filters and oil every 10,000 kilometers. Use good quality filters. The 4JX1 requires 2 oil, 1 fuel and 1 air filter. Of the 2 oil filters, the smaller one is for the HUEY HPOP feed, and the larger is the normal engine lubrication oil filter. While these keep your engine running well, you do need to know what can go wrong and why. Here's a list of common problems, but it is not all of the issues, just the common ones. The injector harness. Due to a mistake or a bad design oversight in the design of the injector harness, there is an issue where oil can seep into the injector electrical plug, causing spurious injector signals. If left unchecked, the oil can then get to the ECU plugs and cause further issues. The problem was caused by capillary action, and oil can work its way into the injector plugs from under the rocker cover. Due to the cables being multi-strand, oil uses capillary action and works its way along the cables to get into the injector harness plug. Once in the plug, oil can short out the pins and cause starting and running issues. The fix is to solder the wires so the capillary action cannot occur or just spray out the connector with electrical contact cleaner on a regular basis. ORPS, OPS. Because of the way in which the engine fires the injectors, the engine requires oil pressure to run. The oil in the common rail receptacle is at pressure, and the device that measures and monitors that pressure then passes the information onto the ECU, and that is the OPS. OPS stands for Oil Rail Pressure Sensor, and it can fail. The OEM replacement is not cheap, and there are quite a few advertised online on well-known auction sites. However, they often don't work that well and can leave you inoperative at the side of the road. The OPS can be checked for correct operation by the Tech 2. RPCV. As mentioned above, the high pressure oil is sent by the high pressure oil pump to the common rail oil receiver and monitored by the OPS. The OPS tells the ECU what the pressure is, and the ECU decides if it's okay or it needs more or less pressure. The ECU controls the pressure using the RPCV, which stands for Rail Pressure Control Valve, and this device is attached to the back of the high pressure oil pump. The RPCV can get dirty, which stops it operating correctly and gives strange running issues. The RPCV can be checked for the correct operation by the Tech 2. There is also a slight issue where you can get a crack or an O-ring failure in the oil pickups in the sump. In most cars there is one oil pickup. In the HUEY engine there are two. One is for oil lubrication, the other is for the high pressure oil pump. If there is a crack or a leak and it sucks air, the engine struggles to start, and that can be an issue. Hopefully you have learned what your engine is, how it works, and what you can do to keep it running and reliable. After watching this video, leave a comment if you have questions and I'll do my very best to help you. You can also see an RPCV removal and clean video in the video content on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you out there.